That's because spring is here. Spring is here inside the shop. And speaking of spring, we have some interesting ways to incorporate spring into your gardening. So here with me is Susie Schwartz. And so she's going to incorporate some very everyday items into plants. And so why don't you kind of tell us what you have here?
Well, the first item I want to show you is this tackle box. It's just an old one that you maybe have in the garage or could, grab out of grandma's basement. And it's a great way to put in the smaller size plants, and obviously waterproof so it can sit outside and do, you don't have to worry about it. Another one is a teapot that has lost its lid, and so we put in our daffodils inside. What a great way to complement the colors, in the flower. Other, little pitchers can be utilized as a potting container or also as a vase. And this one is a rabbit feeder. And what we took the container, and we you can put in your florals. You can have it come out obviously up at the top, and then come out of the bottom as well. It's very unique. And this one you could also hang, on a part of a garden or part of a fence, and just what a great way to add a little bit of interest to that fence area.
Yeah, so it really seems like you can just take almost everyday items and really incorporate them and make them unique and kind of individual.
Right, and it's a good way to kind of color coordinate your containers this way too. Like I said, the yellow in here, plays off some of the colors down there. In here's a little violet would be just, adorable with the colors inside the violet matched up with the color of the picture.
Well, it's all very interesting, and when we come back, we're going to be talking more about gardening plants and how to springify, that's my word, springify your home. So be sure to come back and stay tuned.
More springification then, especially for next week with our weather. Here's Tegan.
Springtime may be here. Well, KHQA's old Megan Townley is out and about this morning. Let's check in with her now. She's at District Designs Talking Springtime.
It's Talking Spring. Good morning, Megan.
Well, good morning back to you guys, and we are again talking about ways to incorporate interesting things with your plants or gardening or however you want to word it. But we have again Susie Schwartz, and so she's going to talk about vases specifically. And so I know this trend. I'm actually up to current times with this trend. I recognize that this is very popular. And so what exactly can people do with their vases?
Well, this is one that is the blue canning jars, and also the clear ones. These are wonderful as a vase. A little bit wider mouth so you can get more, in here. These are extremely popular with the weddings in the area. And this was just a syrup container, and then after it was done, instead of throwing it away, just go ahead and put some florals in there. And then this one here was a spice rack, and they had the individual spices, and when we got finished, I thought, wow, what a great way to make a cute little bud vase. So we've added our little plants in there, or like I said, the little bud vases, and then just what a great way to dress up an area, especially like on a kitchen windowsill. It adds a little bit of freshness and spring to that windowsill without taking up a lot of space. So
sure, and you kind of said this earlier, so I have to give you credit for it, but you said if things aren't usable anymore, you always have a use for them. Don't throw them out because you can use them for something, and this kind of shows.
Exactly. And the glasses are real good. One to have, just clean it up and it's ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, when we get back, we will be talking more about spring trends, maybe more specifically some fashion things. So Kristen, tune in because I know you will enjoy this very much. We're going to be talking more about spring and springifying your home.
Megan knows me too well, and I love the idea of reusing and recycling all those things instead of just throwing them out into the trash. 51, welcome back to KHQA this morning. Time to take a look at what is trending on the web.
After we talked with Megan Townley, who is showing you what's trending this spring at District Designs. We're going to check in with her now. There.
Hey Megan, what's going on
Yeah, that's
out there?
right. We are talking about jewelry and spring designs, and we're here with Chris Kuchar, and he's going to specifically talk about the jewelry trends that are hitting for 2014. And so I sometimes am, and you were saying this, I am sometimes a little worried about stepping out of that box because you can be in that comfort zone with jewelry, but you say it's all about stepping out of there and just trying new trends.
Right. So many times we're afraid of doing, whether it be your hair, your makeup, your clothing, we're afraid to step out, including your jewelry. And what we need to do is, we're not actually that far behind in our community, because a lot of times in smaller communities, we're afraid, oh my gosh, we're so out of touch, we're 2 to 3 years behind. We're really not, because we have the contact of the internet. We have ways that we can look on different media sources. We can watch television shows, we can look at videos, we can see so many different things. If you just Google Jewelry Trends 2014, you can see that larger, brighter colored jewelry, similar to what we have here, similar to larger bangles that you can wear. If you look at the jewelry that we have, the necklaces are actually starting to see bigger, broader, larger, almost breastplates, really large, pieces of jewelry are very popular. We're also seeing pearls. Pearls will be in this year. So don't be afraid to get, like larger strands of pearls, multiple strands of pearls to wear. You can also look at the different earrings that we have. You can start going with silver or gold. Gold is making a resurgence again. Silver's been very, very popular for a long time. But we're starting to see blends of jewelry with gold and even silver and gold together. So it's a good way to go.
I was to say, some of the gold trends that I've been seeing, it almost kind of looks like an Egyptian style because it's very large and ornate, and that's kind of what I have seen. Is that sometimes a trend that you've been seeing yourself?
I definitely do. The bohemian look is very popular, kind of an Indian feel to it, larger, chunkier pieces with turquoise or coral or different blends of fabrics even mixed in the metals, working with the blends of the gold and the silver.
Yeah. Well, Kristen, I hope you're taking notes because I know I am. I'm trying to keep up with all the spring trends. And so when we come back, we're going to be talking about even more spring trends to really make spring come into your life and add a little spice to it when we come back.
All right.
Pearls and big jewelry. Got it down. KHQA's own Megan Tonley, who was out and about in Quincy this morning. She's live at District Design.
Showing us some spring type trends. Good morning, Megan.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. I am actually currently modeling some spring trends myself. I've gotten all glammed up, and we have some models who have been all glammed up for us. And so Chris Kuchar is here with us talking about spring jewelry and the beautiful trends that are happening. And so what are some trends that we're seeing?
Well, Megan, as with yours, you can see the brighter colors are becoming very popular right now. Don't be afraid to splash it out and have a little bit more color. And you can see that her earrings actually match her necklace. That's one of the trends that we're seeing. You can also see with Barb, here we have a combination of silver with sparkle along with a larger piece. Again, like I said, the larger pieces are very much making a statement, but you can see where it's sitting on the outside of her collar. That's really one of the newest and hottest trends that we're starting to see, is if you wear it on the outside of your collar, if it's a very large piece. And with Sue, you can see that we've layered. We've worked with two different pieces. We've worked with a shorter piece and a longer piece. They've got the silver as a general idea, but you can see there's a little bit of gold in the mix of it. So blending of different textures and movements is very popular. You can also use as a thought for yourself that if you go into a vertical line, you're going to create length. If you go into a horizontal line or larger, bulkier pieces of earrings, you're going to create a horizontal width. Same thing with your hair, your makeup, anything, you can do that. Just remember, vertical is length and horizontal is width. So.
Very good. And so all of these trends are very good for spring because, like I said, they're different and it gets you out of that winter fuss where you want to play it safe and keep it warm, whereas spring you can be expressive and add a little spice to your life. When we get back, we'll be talking about more spring trends and how to add that little springify, my new word, that springified look into your life.
Well, Megan, you look a little spicy with all that jewelry on this morning. Very cute.
Well, we have more trends coming up.
Let's check in with KHQA's own Megan Townley, who is live at District Designs this morning.
Yeah, Megan, you're showing us some spring trends and jewelry. What do you got for us this go around?
Jewelry?
Well, we're switching away from jewelry, but we are going to one of my other favorite spring trends, floral patterns. Now, I happen to love that style, Barb, and so Barb McLean is here with us, and so she's going to be talking about how to incorporate that spring look into some other elements in your life. And so why don't you kind of tell us how people can do that?
Well, one of the ways is by changing out your pillows seasonally. Florals are a big trend this year. It's one of the 10 top trends. We're going back to chintzes and all things floral. And if you want to change your pillows on your sofa by the season, it works beautifully. You can take a floral pillow and you can mix it with an old stripe that you have or a check or anything. Florals mix well with checks, they mix well with stripes, they mix well with solids. Put them around, you can use them outside, inside. One way to change up your patio furniture is to take an old cushion that you're maybe really tired of the fabric on there, and just if you want a quick upholstery job that looks good and you don't have to keep it permanently, just take fabric and pin it neatly around your cushions, and it really, most time people can't even tell, and fluff a little pillow in there and it looks like it was made that way. But the other thing you can do is bring out Grandma's dishes again. Floral patterns are hot. They're really a big trend, and I imagine that most of our trends tend to stay for several years. It's been a while since we've seen a lot of floral. That doesn't mean go out and buy a floral sofa, because you might really get tired of that, but your plain colored sofas and chairs and things can be just spruced up with a little flower. And we've done it in, you can take a fabric and put it on a frame, and this is an old vintage bark cloth piece that's been made into a picture. I didn't do this, but somebody else did. And just anything like that, floral, put a floral pattern on a stool, anything like that will work. And just, it's easy to upholster a stool or a chair seat or something like that and bring in the floral. And don't forget to mix in the other things like your stripes and your plain colors and your plaids.
Yeah, so
just have fun.
It seems like all about spring is having that fun floral pattern and kind of bringing in some styles maybe from yesteryear and incorporating them into 2014. When we get back, we will also be talking about more spring trends and even more better ways to springify yourself.
I love her new room, Springify. Let's Springify everything.
Let's do it. Let's start with the weather and get.
She is thinking spring this morning as well, and we talk spring trends and floral patterns, jewelry. What's up next?
Well, I know green might be the color for this weekend in the next couple of days, but it is 50 shades of blue over here, and specifically we're talking about a great color to add to accents into your home and how you can make that a very spring welcoming color. You're watching KHQA's This Morning.
To Megan Townley, who is out at District Designs this morning, showing us some spring trends.
And she's also dubbed a new word, Springify. What's going on out there this morning, Megan?
Yeah, Springify is the word, and the color is blue. So that's one of the colors that we're trying to incorporate into our life here at District Designs, and it's all about adding a little spice, and that's kind of my theme for the morning, adding a little spice into your life. And so why don't you kind of talk about ways people can add that interesting mix into their life?
Yes, well, this morning we've talked about some great home decor so far, thinking towards garden and floral prints. We've talked about some great jewelry and how you can introduce shades of blue and gold into your home for the upcoming season or into your life. And what we have really promoted a lot here at District Designs, and we found our customers really enjoy, and through our research, shades of blue are huge. And some people feel like a bright, bold color like blue can be kind of intimidating, hard to incorporate in their space. But if we look at blue as the new accent color, and we've kind of got it displayed here to kind of help people understand, we've got kind of great chippy blue paint, kind of that slightly dusty, which is really easy to incorporate into a style that might be slightly French country, which is really fun and a really hot decor that a lot of clients that we have and a lot of people that we know here in Quincy have in their homes. But then you can also incorporate shades like navy and some of the very, very light, kind of almost on the verge of minty style blues into a more industrial or contemporary decor. And just because it's blue, because blue can be a color that some people associate with sea, style like the ocean and sea and things. But what we're trying to do here is really show that that doesn't have to be the case. So just because you don't have a beach decor doesn't mean you can't incorporate that blue into your home, whether it's just a small accent piece that you hang on the wall or a small side table. Now, this week on Friday, so tomorrow evening from 5 to 7, we're having a great after hours event, kind of a cocktail evening with some great light appetizers, nothing too fancy or formal, and it gives us an opportunity to sit down and talk with clients that come in the door or just people who are out wandering downtown wondering what's going on, and kind of let them know some of the different things that we've discovered and try and help them with that space in their home or that space on them with a piece of great jewelry or something, how they can incorporate maybe what they already have and mix it with something new to update their space or update their themselves for spring.
Well, the word is blue, and hopefully I'm going with that trend. I think this is maybe more blue-green, but I think I'm still going to count it that's blue for me. Coming up, we're going to have a little bit more information about spring trends, but I'll send it back to you guys.
Megan is so on trend.
Just saying.
Blue.
Just saying.
I don't think that's the blue they're talking about.